Hi and welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Isabel Alvarez-Arada. I'm the host of Covered in Pet Hair, a boozy web show for pet lovers on Pet Life Radio and YouTube. I am coming to you with an update on my dog Titan, who recently was diagnosed with potential or possible degenerative myelopathy. And I have kind of an important update now. He got his genetic testing back, and Titan doesn't have genetic predisposition to degenerative myelopathy. So he technically can't possibly have degenerative myelopathy, which is hugely positive news. Degenerative myelopathy is terminal. It is something that cannot be cured. They don't even know really how to manage it as well as they probably should. There's not a lot of money in the research of degenerative myelopathy. So veterinarians, a lot of them are one, not that informed on it, or two, just kind of give the diagnosis and say, I'm so sorry, there's nothing I can do. We could potentially do laser or acupuncture or water therapy. But there's not much that we can do to help your dog. There isn't even research that tells us any supplements that actually help. I can tell you that all the supplements I shared in previous videos, and I'll put the link right here, those are supplements that I've was told would help my dog if he did in fact have degenerative myelopathy, but he doesn't have degenerative myelopathy, thank goodness. And right now that leaves us with a dog that is still declining. He's still mobility impaired many days. He's still walking, but he's declining. So after I got the genetic testing back, which is a really simple process, and I will share that in a separate video, I loved the genetic testing. I thought it was great because it gave me an idea of what Titan's actual genetic, like what his breeds are. So that was interesting to know about my dog, who's like, he's such a mix. Like we just always referred to him as a hound mix. But other than that, it showed me that he has no predisposition for the 200, I think, conditions that they test for. Titan is such a mutt that he's like super mutt. He's not preconditioned to any of these really devastating conditions. So that's really good news. But there's something going on with him. Obviously, there's something going on with him. He has something in his spine, hindquarters, that is affecting his movement, and it's making him feel kind of crummy. And he's still on the gabapentin, which prevents any pain that he has. He doesn't look like a painful dog, but he's definitely slowing down, and he definitely looks a little less stable than he used to. So we are still kind of figuring out what it is that he has. But in the meantime, we know that there's nothing sudden coming based on degenerative myelopathy. I mean, degenerative myelopathy is pretty quick at the age that he is. He's almost 14. So degenerative myelopathy would basically get him to the point where he was completely paralyzed in the hindquarters, and then it would move up his spine, affecting his inner organs, affecting his mobility, his nerves, all the way to the front of his body, so that eventually he would be completely paralyzed, not just in the back, but both hind and front quarters. And then eventually he would pass away from the effect of the degenerative myelopathy on his organs, internal organs. So we don't have to worry about that, but we also do have an aging dog who has stopped barking. He can't actually, like, he barks, he opens his mouth to bark, but very little comes out when he barks. We have a dog that is having a hard time jumping on the couch. He still does it, but you can tell that it's more difficult than before. He's a little bit unstable. He still walks and lifts his leg when he walks. So he's super stable from when I started documenting this journey. He really hasn't deteriorated much. And if it was degenerative myelopathy, the veterinarian said he might have had 1 month before he was completely paralyzed in his hind end. So we're very, very relieved to hear that he does not have degenerative myelopathy, but we're also kind of curious as to what's going on there. So right now we're continuing to do the laser, but we did kind of stopped doing the initial. We did a 6-week initial intensive kind of laser treatment where it was every week. And now we're doing every other week, just because the veterinarian says he's maintaining so well that he may not need every week treatment. But if he does start to deteriorate more rapidly, now that we're changing the schedule, we can always go back to weekly treatments. And this is a laser treatment that has been really wonderful for us. Titan actually had a spider bite, I think. And, it's hard to confirm what that is, but he had something that was causing, like the flesh on his leg to die. This was like 2 years ago. And the veterinarian used that laser to heal him, and he healed so well and so quickly. It was a kind of mind blowing. And lucky for us, our veterinarian, whom we've been with since we moved to El Paso in 2017, she's the only veterinarian in El Paso that has that laser. Just coincidentally, we obviously didn't choose her for that reason. So we've had that laser has really helped Titan throughout the years, and we're going to continue using that. We also are continuing to see the acupuncturist. I was sick last week, so I couldn't see her when we had scheduled for April 1st, but she is going to see him the following week. Just because we want to make sure that she and her family stay safe. And I hadn't been tested for COVID yet. It wasn't COVID. I was sick with just a cold, but we want to keep her family safe. So she decided to reschedule with us. The acupuncturist works out of her home. She has an elderly mother-in-law, I believe, that lives with her. So she's very careful. And she's going to come to our house in a week's time and do her follow-up to her initial appointment. I'll put the link to the initial acupuncture feedback, like review video, I guess, that I did when Titan first was seen by this veterinarian acupuncturist. She's wonderful. And I'm looking forward to seeing what she has to say now that we know that degenerative myelopathy is kind of off the table. Genetic testing is not 100% though. So the science is not 100%. So there is a chance maybe that he could have something that just wasn't detected. But I'm going to go with his test was negative for degenerative myelopathy. He's not a carrier. He's not preconditioned. So he just doesn't have it. So I'm sure that there's a geneticist out there saying like, actually it could still be, but I'm going to go with he doesn't have that because it wasn't tested. It did not come back on this quite reliable test. Right now, we're thinking maybe it's just really bad arthritis and we're treating accordingly. But everything that I did before, for the purposes of helping him make it through degenerative myelopathy, we're continuing to do, and he's doing great as a result. These supplements are amazing, so I highly recommend them for any dog, whether they have degenerative myelopathy or whether they're just aging and need some help in the movement and just overall wellness. Please check out that video. Again, I'll link it right here. So if you have any tips for me, maybe you've been through this before where you had received a diagnosis for your pet and you did genetic testing and found that that diagnosis no longer applied. I'd love to hear from you. Please comment below. Let's get the conversation started. If you have any questions for me about the genetic testing, I'll link everything that I used in the description of the video so that you know where I went. I continue to say that Degenerative Myelopathy group on Facebook has been a huge help, a huge resource, and I will link that in the video description as well for those that maybe have just found that their dog has a potential degenerative myelopathy. Even though Titan is not a degenerative myelopathy dog, I hope that our journey helps those who have degenerative myelopathy dogs at the end of their lives, because maintaining their movement is really important. Titan continues to walk every day. Titan continues to move every day. I know that if it was degenerative myelopathy, we may have seen a very big change between the first time I did a video on him and now. So any of you dealing with degenerative myelopathy, my heart goes out to you because it is a devastating condition. And while I'm super, super happy that we probably aren't dealing with that, I do feel for those that are. So my heart goes out to you, whether your pet is dealing with it or you had a pet in the past. I'm so sorry for your loss if you have lost a pet to degenerative myelopathy. It is a terrible, terrible condition, and it takes way too many dogs. And hopefully there will be more research done and more answers for you pet parents out there dealing with this in the future. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.